the Bender Ball is one of my favorite props, and I'm going to show you some of my top ways to use it today, both for strengthening the core and releasing your low back. Hi, my name is Mariah. Welcome to Wealthy Boss. I'm so glad you're here. If we are just getting to know each other, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. I have been doing new bar yoga and Pilates workouts every week for almost 3 years. I'd love to let you know when new things are coming out, and there's a lot more for you to check out as well. Now, I love the Bender Ball especially for core strengthening, because it trains the core in a way that's both more effective as well as really safe for the low back. A lot of unsupported core work can actually end up making our backs worse by placing strain on the hip flexors and the low back. And many of us get into core training to begin with as a way to either prevent or maybe because we had low back pain and we're trying to bring ourselves back into balance. So I'm going to show you a very back-friendly way to strengthen the abdominals and then enjoy this really delicious, yummy stretch. You need a Bender Ball, of course, and we are going to begin with our plank position. So I'm going to have that ball. And by the way, if you haven't really gotten the rundown on the ball's buoyancy, we actually want it to be just a touch deflated. We don't want to blow it up like a basketball. That's actually going to take some of the work out of it. So we want it, you can kind of see when you squish it, you've got a few kind of shadows or indentations that come in, and that means you're just right on track. So I'm going to place that ball between my inner thighs, getting a little bit of activation into the inner thighs while I train my core from a plank position. So I'm going to come into my traditional plank. My fingers are wide, and then right off the bat, I have to give that ball a nice little squeeze. So I'm lighting up the adductors, getting a little bonus inner thigh work as I'm toning those abdominals, so trying to make sure that those heels are stretching towards the back of the mat, that they're not sickling out to the side, but you're really squeezing that ball, taking some nice deep breaths in and out. So I like to come to my Pilates breath here during the strength portion. So a deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth through pursed lips. I could begin adding some pulses here on the exhale. Continuing to take those pulses, nice deep breaths. You are more than welcome to drop your knees, take a rest. I always prefer, when teaching planks, that you decide when to come in and out of them, because I don't know what your body is feeling like in the moment. There's no right or wrong, other than we want to start paying attention to the moment we start to collapse on our form. So maybe you're sagging your hips, maybe you're dropping the chest, or maybe you're even sneaking the hips up high to take some of the work out of the abs. That's a good indication it's time to come back, take that little pause. Now, if you're loving some of the engagement for the inner thighs, I'm going to throw a little extra sneaky element at you next. So getting back into that plank position. And this time, we're going to raise the right leg up. So just kind of squeezing, rolling it up away from the other leg. Give me a little squeeze, 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 set it back down. Let's take it to the other side. It's a lift, squeeze, 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 set it back down. So of course, we're getting some inner thigh strength here, but also by unweighting one leg at a time, we're having to require a little bit more control of some of those supporting, stabilizing muscles like our obliques. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and set that down. Another one. And let's go all the way down. Amazing. We're going to go ahead and come down next into our seated series. Seated earthquake. One of my favorite things we can do. And then we're going to start to kind of round just a touch. It's okay to be in a slightly flexed position here because we have that ball supporting our low back. So taking a moment here to kind of find that perfect amount of lean where we're not extending, we're not popping the belly up, we're pulling the belly in. We're going to start to lean back until we feel a little bit light up in those abdominals. And then I'm going to have you take one pulse up, take it back, exhale, return to center. Again, so it's just simple, and then we'll add on. So inhale, And then we're gonna take 2 pulses this time. Come all the way up. Let's go for 3. 3, 2, 1. How about 4? Can we reach 4? I know we can. 4, 3, 2, 1. This time I want you to come all the way back and hold. Now we're gonna make it a little more fancy. Extend the left arm overhead. Ooh, did that change it for you? Set it down, right arm overhead. So my trunk is not changing position, but noticing how those abs start to do a little dance here as I'm adding that arm overhead. I'm extending the lever, my body is having to work harder on that side against gravity, which gives this some of its juice. Very good, last one. Good, let's come up for air. Whew. Now we're gonna add another element. We're gonna extend the right arm behind us. Left leg comes out long, so we're gonna kind of tap it down to the ground and then lift. So we're lowering opposite arm and leg. I don't care how high you come up with that leg. We don't wanna overtax the hip flexors there. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If this is too intense for you, leave the leg out of it and just have that opposite arm. Whew. I'm definitely feeling plenty right there. And then let's take it to the other side. Let's come all the way up for a moment. Give ourselves that little bit of air. And let's take it to the other side. So opposite arm and leg, we reach and move away from each other on the inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now I'm not yet trying to touch them. I'm gonna add a rotation a little bit later. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, nice and slow and controlled. How about one more? Beautiful. Go ahead and pull it up. And again, this time it's both arms overhead. We're gonna come into some toe taps here. So as we draw the knee into the chest, we're peeling up, taking those arms in front of the shoulders. We inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. One more, and I'm gonna throw in a rotation. All right, this time, legs keep doing the same thing. Arms rotate to the outside of the knee. Hello, abs, how are you doing? We definitely are aware of you. One more. Perfect. Let's roll up, and then we're gonna scoot that ball back. As we come onto our back, we're gonna support the head with the hands, keeping the elbows wide. So my ball now is between my shoulder blades. And I'm gonna take it to some simple crunches here, keeping the elbows wide. I'm gonna go up for 3, 2, 1, really pulling the belly button in, flattening the back, and then down for 1. So we go 3, 2, 1, down quick. 3, 2, 1, down quick. 3, 2, 1, really pull everything in, and then let's reverse. We go up quick, down for 3, 2, 1, up quick and down, 2, 1, up quick and down, 2, 1, up quick and down, 2, 1. Hopefully feeling a little bit more on the upper fibers of our abdominals there. Now just for a moment, I want you to extend your right arm long. I'm gonna keep my left hand here to help support so I'm not straining my low neck muscles or my side neck muscles. And then try to reach your middle finger towards your outside of the ankle. So it's a reach, return, reach, return. Goodness gracious, reach, return. Fingertips are just lightly supporting the base of the skull. Reach, one more, and let's take it to the other side. So it's reach. So now we're getting that side body strength in, really trying to reach it long. For 4, here's 3, 2, and 1. Now we get to do something really great. Go ahead and come all the way down onto the mat. We're gonna lift the booty up. This time the ball comes directly under the tailbone. This should feel really good. So it's serving as a little cushion for the seat. making sure you're solidly on there. We're gonna take the legs up to the ceiling, and this is where we get to enjoy all the nice things that the Bender Ball can do. It can do a lot of kind of sketchy things there in terms of the effort involved, but it can be nice to us as well. Let's go ahead and take some nice hip circles. This is just to kind of serve to release the base of the spine. So it mimics what we might do on a Pilates reformer, but for me, having that Bender Ball underneath it really changes the flavor into more of a restorative, kind of rejuvenating exercise as we're moving the femurs around in the hip socket. We're then be able to create kind of a sense of varying pressure into the ball, just like a little bit of a massage. So we're mobilizing for those hips. Let's take it in the opposite direction. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. This should feel so good for the back. Perfect. Now I want you to pull the right knee into the chest. Send the left leg long. If it feels comfortable to, you can extend it all the way long. If that doesn't feel good, if you're already a little too tight here in the hips, go ahead and bend the knee. But if it does feel nice, start to work the legs away from each other, finding a really great length in the front of that hip, a great release in the low back. Nice deep breaths here. Maybe transitioning to a yoga breath in and out through the nose as we enjoy these nice static holds now. So I think this is the Bender Ball's kind of secret power in that it can really start to help release and restore the back, so it can be part of our recovery work as well. Really lengthening that opposite toe towards the far end of the mat to get the benefit of that stretch here in the front of the hip. And then we'll return this foot to the ground before we bend the other knee in. Take that to the other side. Oh, this feels so good. Really pushing that back hip down towards the ball to get a little bit deeper into that stretch. The deeper the breath we take, the more of a stretch we're able to enjoy, the more benefit we're getting out of the work. Really pulling the knee in as you press the long leg away, creating that opposition, stretching in the hip flexor as well as the back. Let's return that foot to the ground, and then we're going to bend both knees, but take the feet pretty wide, about mat width. I'm going to go ahead and kind of relax my arms a little bit wider to help kind of keep me more stable. And I'm going to start to take some windshield wipers, just kind of tick-tocking knees side to side. So we'll start a little bit small here, having it be more of a mobility thing that we're doing. Practicing that range of motion, getting blood flow into those hip rotators. And now here comes the good part. I want you next time to drop the knees all the way over to the right until the right hip actually comes onto the ground. But because we have that ball under our bottom, it's serving to kind of lift and elevate the left hip. The result is we get this really great stretch kind of over the psoas, because the psoas comes from the top of the leg, the femur, and then actually wraps around the waist and attaches to the vertebrae at the back of the low back. So we always think about our psoas being in front, but it's equally important for this work that serves as a rotator, and oftentimes that can kind of get stuck when we're experiencing low back pain. So we're really going to open that up and enjoy. And then let's gently put just a touch of strength back into the hips to slide them over to the other side. Left hip comes all the way to the ground. Right hip is kind of buoyed up by that ball. We enjoy a deep stretch, both shoulders around the ground if possible. Take the hips back towards center. I know this is more of a Pilates inspired class, but we're going to take a Shavasana here, keeping the hips elevated over at that ball. You can take the feet nice and wide. Go ahead and allow the eyes to close and feel all of the muscles that tend to tense up during core work in the low back, the glutes, and the abdominals. Just feel them now beginning to unwind, to let go. So just as valuable in kind of creating that symmetry in the spine and in the body, just as valuable to strengthening and working the muscles is the ability, maybe even probably more important, is that ability to relax, to return to homeostasis. And it's actually while we are at rest that those muscle fibers begin the work of repairing and coming back stronger. Without the rest, we don't actually get to reap the full benefit of the gains of the hard work that we're doing. And then one knee at a time, we're going to bend the knees, bring the feet in close to the seat. We'll roll away from the ball, coming back to that seated position. And I hope you had some fun. I hope you were inspired by some of the ways we can utilize the Bender Ball. Let me know if some of these new moves were new for you. I'd love to hear how it went. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I always appreciate a thumbs up if this video was helpful for you. And I'll see you next time.